The doctor said he was dying, but she gave him an heir and the greatest romance of his life. Once upon a time, in a small village in Devon, England, lived a widower named William Hawthorne. He was only 42 years old, but he had already experienced more suffering than most people do in a lifetime. After losing his beloved wife, Emma, to cancer, he dedicated his life to raising their 2 children, 5-year-old Lily and 2-year-old Samuel. It was a difficult task, but William took great pride in it and loved his children more than anything else in the world. However, his happiness was short-lived. One day, while playing outside, young Samuel tripped and fell, hitting his head on a rock. Despite rushing him to the hospital, the doctors were unable to save the boy, and he died in front of his father's eyes. William blamed himself for not being able to protect his children and fell into a deep depression. Years passed, and Lily grew up into a beautiful young woman. Although her mother had died when she was just a baby, she had many fond memories of her. William often told his daughter stories about her mother's kindness and thought that she inherited her gentle and caring nature. When Lily was 18, she decided to follow in her mother's footsteps and become a nurse. Her father was very proud of her and supported her decision wholeheartedly. One day, William noticed that Lily seemed distracted and upset, so he sat down next to her and asked what was wrong. Lily hesitated at first, but eventually opened up to her father. She explained that she was worried about her future and did know if she could handle the responsibility of being a nurse. William listened patiently and then told her a story about her mother. He told her how Emma had faced many challenges in her life but never gave up. He emphasized that his daughter was strong and capable and that he believed in her. After hearing her father's words, Lily felt much better. She realized that she could not let her worries hold her back any longer and needed to focus on her dreams. With renewed determination, she studied hard and eventually graduated from nursing school. However, fate had other plans for Lily. Soon after starting her job at the local hospital, she became severely ill and was unable to work. Her condition worsened rapidly, and her father was called to the hospital where doctors delivered the devastating news. Lily had contracted a rare and incurable virus that would take her life within a few weeks. William was devastated and tried everything he could to save his daughter, but nothing worked. As the end drew near, he spent all his time by Lily's bedside, holding her hand and telling her stories about her mother. He refused to leave her side until her last breath. After burying his daughter, William fell into a deep depression. He felt like his life had no meaning and spent most of his time alone in his house. One day he came across a letter that Lily had written to him before her death. In the letter, she expressed her love for her father and told him not to be sad. She said that she was in a better place now and that he should live his life to the fullest. William read the letter over and over again, tears streaming down his face. He promised his daughter that he would be strong and live his life the way she wanted him to. Determined to honor his daughter's memory, William decided to visit the seaside town where Lily had always dreamed of going. He packed a bag, called a cab, and headed to the station. On the journey, he reminisced about the happy times he had shared with Lily and how she had always talked about visiting the seaside. He missed her dearly and wished he could have done more to save her. Upon arriving in the seaside town, William checked into a small hotel near the beach. He spent his days walking along the shore, watching the waves crash against the sand. One day, while strolling through the town, he came across a quaint little bookshop. Curiosity piqued. He stepped inside and found himself surrounded by countless novels and poetry books. As he browsed the shelves, a woman's voice broke the silence. "Can I help you?" William turned to find a beautiful woman with kind eyes smiling at him. "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle you," she said, realizing he hadn't responded. "I'm just browsing. Thank you," he replied, taken aback by her beauty. The woman smiled again and went back behind the counter. William continued exploring the bookstore, finding solace in the pages of a novel he picked up. He read quietly for hours, enjoying the peaceful atmosphere until the shop owner approached him. "It's closing time," she said gently. "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize," he said, marking his page and placing the book down. "Would you like me to wrap it up?" she asked, gesturing towards the novel. "No, thank you. I just need to browse a little longer," he replied, hoping she wouldn't press him further. However, the woman insisted, and soon he found himself leaving the store with a neatly wrapped package under his arm. "Thank you," he said to the woman, feeling grateful for her kindness. "My name is Elizabeth. It was nice meeting you," she replied, smiling warmly. "William," he responded, realizing he had forgotten to mention his name. "It was lovely meeting you too, Elizabeth." With a sense of contentment, William returned to his hotel room and settled in for the night. Before retiring, he opened the package from the bookstore, revealing the novel he had been reading. As he began reading, he couldn't shake off the feeling that something was missing. He missed his daughter Lily and couldn't help but wonder if she would have enjoyed the story. Suddenly, he felt a strong urge to return home. He knew he could unstay in the seaside town any longer and called a cab to take him back. Back in his village, William found comfort in his work at the local church where he volunteered as a caretaker. He threw himself into his tasks, cleaning the windows, mowing the lawn, and repairing the roof. One day, while working on a particularly challenging repair, William met a young woman named Catherine Bell. Catherine was a contractor who had been hired to oversee the church's renovations. She was smart, funny, and passionate about her work, and she quickly became an important part of William's life. Together, they tackled the repairs and slowly transformed the church into a beautiful place of worship. As they worked side by side, William found himself drawn to Catherine's energy and enthusiasm. He had never met anyone like her and couldn't help but admire her dedication and passion. As the renovation neared completion, William and Catherine's friendship deepened. They started spending time together outside of work, going on hikes, attending local events, and simply enjoying each other's company. William was surprised by how happy he felt around Catherine, especially since he had never considered dating again after losing his daughter. However, he couldn't deny that he was falling in love with her and decided to take a chance on happiness once more. He asked her out on a date and they began dating soon after. William couldn't believe how lucky he was to have found someone as special as Catherine. She was beautiful, intelligent, and kind-hearted, and he couldn't imagine his life without her now. One day, Catherine surprised William by inviting him to meet her parents. He was nervous but excited and agreed to go. When they arrived at her parents' house, William was warmly welcomed by a couple who were just as kind and friendly as their daughter. He felt relieved that Catherine's parents approved of him and couldn't wait to introduce them to his own family. As the months passed, William and Catherine's relationship grew stronger. They supported each other through thick and thin, always being there for one another when it mattered most. He knew he had found the love of his life and couldn't wait to spend the rest of his days with her. One evening, while having dinner at home, Catherine casually mentioned that her aunt had recently adopted a dog and had asked if William would be interested in doing the same. He had always loved dogs and thought it would be a great idea, so they decided to visit the local animal shelter to look for a furry friend. Upon arriving at the shelter, William and Catherine were greeted by dozens of adorable dogs of all shapes and sizes. They walked around meeting some playful puppies and some older dogs who needed a loving home. Suddenly, they heard a small whimper coming from the corner of a room. As they approached, they saw a small terrier mix huddled in the shadows. The dog was skinny and scared, but when William knelt down to pet her, he knew she was the one. They named her Lily in honor of William's late daughter and quickly arranged for her adoption. From the moment Lily the dog arrived at William and Catherine's home, she became an integral part of their family. Her playful and affectionate nature filled their lives with joy and laughter, and they couldn't imagine their home without her. One sunny afternoon, William and Catherine were picnicking in the park with Lily the dog, when suddenly, William noticed a group of children playing nearby. He watched as they ran around, laughing and playing games together. A wave of sadness washed over him as he remembered his own daughter, Lily, and how much she had loved playing outside. He couldn't help but wonder if his life would have turned out differently if she hadn't died. Shaking off his negative thoughts, William turned to Catherine and smiled. He knew that although his biological daughter was gone, he had been blessed with a new family, including Catherine and his beloved dogs. As the years passed, William and Catherine's love for each other only grew stronger. They faced challenges together, celebrated successes, and never lost sight of what truly mattered in life. William had found happiness again and knew that he had Catherine and his dogs to thank for it. One day, William woke up feeling unwell. At first, he dismissed it as a passing bug, but his health quickly deteriorated. He experienced severe stomach pains, unexplained weight loss, and an unsettling fatigue. Concerned, Catherine insisted that he see a doctor. After running tests, the doctor delivered devastating news. William had pancreatic cancer and only had a few weeks to live. Overwhelmed with sadness, William returned home. He struggled to accept his diagnosis and feared leaving Catherine and his dogs behind. Catherine, however, was determined to make William's remaining time as comfortable as possible. She arranged for his favorite foods to be delivered, rearranged his garden to create a peaceful space for him to relax, and most importantly, never left his side. In his final days, William reflected on his life and the journey that had brought him to this point. He thought about his late wife and daughter, the pain of their loss still fresh in his heart. He also reminisced about the happy times he had shared with Catherine and the joy that she had brought into his life. As his strength waned, William knew that his time was running out. However, he found solace in the love and support of Catherine, who continued to care for him tirelessly. One evening, as the sun began to set, William called Catherine to his bedside. With a weak but steady voice, he expressed his love and gratitude for her, thanking her for giving him the best years of his life. Catherine, her eyes filled with tears, reciprocated his feelings, promising to cherish the memories they had made together. As William's breathing slowed and his grip on Catherine's hand weakened, he closed his eyes for the final time. Catherine stayed by his side, holding his hand and whispering words of love and comfort until his heartbeat faded away. In the quiet of the night, Catherine felt a profound sense of loss, but also gratitude for the time she had spent with William. She knew that he was in a better place now and that their love would continue to guide her through the difficult days ahead. With heavy steps, Catherine descended the stairs of William's house, carrying a small white box in her hands. The weight of the box seemed heavier than its size, filled as it was with William's last wishes. She had promised to fulfill them no matter how difficult it might be. The contents of the box held secrets, stories, and emotions that had been kept hidden for years. And as Catherine prepared to unveil them, she braced herself for the journey that lay ahead. With a deep breath, Catherine lifted the lid of the box, revealing a collection of letters tied with a faded ribbon. Each letter was a testament to a hidden chapter of William's life, a secret he had carried until his final days. As she carefully untied the ribbon, Catherine felt a surge of curiosity and a sense of foreboding. What secrets did these letters hold? How would they shape the narrative of William's life, and what impact would they have on her own story? With trembling hands, Catherine reached for the first letter, her heart pounding in her chest. The moment she broke the seal, a cascade of words flowed onto the page, revealing a tale that was both heartbreaking and awe-inspiring. And so begins Catherine's journey into the hidden chapters of William's past. As she delves deeper into the secrets contained within the letters, she uncovers a web of deceit, betrayal, and forbidden love that had shaped William into the man she had fallen in love with. But as the truth unravels, Catherine finds herself torn between loyalty to William's memory and the need to expose the darkness that had haunted him for so long.